Hello, and thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedules to join me today. I hope that there is something within this video that is a benefit to you or to somebody that you know. Please like, subscribe, and share. In my last video, I had gone over the Pledge of Allegiance. I had also covered George Washington's inaugural speech. This is something a little different. This is George Washington's vision for America. Don't remember offhand the website I reported it from, but there are other sources cited in here that do cover where you can find it yourself. Go ahead, feel free to take a look at it. So George Washington was a man of faith and prayer. And the following is an account of George Washington's vision from an old soldier, Anthony Sherman, who recalled it in 1859 and gave it to Wesley Bradshaw, a writer. The vision depicted three great wars on American soil. The first was the Revolutionary War, the second was the Civil War, and the third was yet to come. Sherman informed Bradshaw that the vision would soon be confirmed by the Second War in America. This came to pass 2 years later when the Civil War broke out in 1861. George Washington received the vision at Valley Forge in the bitter cold of 1777. The Revolutionary Army was facing its darkest hour and its most difficult challenge. The bitter cold, disease, and starvation was on the verge of destroying the army and all hope of independence. Sherman's account of Washington's vision was reprinted in December of 1880 by the National Tribune, the U.S. Veterans paper, and on December 21st, 1950, by the Stars and Stripes. The vision. Anthony Sherman was in Valley Forge and received the report of the vision firsthand from George Washington. Sherman recalled, "You doubtlessly heard the story of Washington going to the thicket to pray, in secret and for aid and comfort from God, the interposition of whose divine providence brought us safely through the darkest days of tribulation. One day I remember it well, while the chilly wind whistled through the leafless trees, though the sky was cloudless, and the sun shone brightly. He remained in his quarters nearly all of the afternoon alone. When he came out, I noticed that his face was a shade paler than usual. There seemed to be something in his mind of more than ordinary importance. Returning just after dusk, he dispatched an orderly to the quarters who was presently in attendance. After a preliminary conversation of about an hour, Washington, gazing upon his companion with the strange look of dignity which he alone commanded, related the events that occurred that day. Washington stated, "This afternoon, as I was sitting at the table engaged in preparing to dispatch, something seemed to disturb me. Looking up, I beheld, standing opposite me, a singularly beautiful female. So astonished was I, for I had given strict orders not to be disturbed, that it was some moments before I found language to inquire the cause of her presence. A second, a third, and even a fourth time did I repeat my question, but received no answer from my mysterious visitor except a slight raising of her eyes. By the time I felt strange sensations spreading through me, I would have risen, but for the riveted gaze of the being before me rendered violation impossible. I essayed once more to address her, but my tongue had become useless, as though it had become paralyzed. A new influence, mysterious, irresistible, took possession of me. All I could do was to gaze steadily, vacantly, at my unknown visitor. Gradually, the surrounding atmosphere seemed as if it had become filled with sensations and luminous. Everything about me seemed to rarefy the mysterious visitor herself, becoming more airy and yet distinct to my sight than before. I now began to feel as one dying, or rather to experience the sensation which I had sometimes imagined accompanying dissolution. I did not think, I did not reason, I did not move. All were alike impossible. I was only conscious of gazing fixedly, vacantly at my companion. The first peril, the revolution. Presently, I heard the voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn," while at the same time my visitor extended her arm eastwardly. I only beheld a heavy white vapor at some distance rising fold upon fold. This gradually dissipated, and I looked upon a strange scene. Before me lay spread out in one vast plain all the countries of the world, Europe, Asia, Africa, and America. I saw rolling and tossing between Europe and America the billows of Atlantic, and between Asia and America lay the Pacific. "Son of the Republic," said the mysterious voice as before, "look and learn." At that moment I beheld a dark, shadowy being, like an angel, standing, or rather floating in midair between Europe and America, dipping water out of the ocean in the hollow of each hand, and sprinkling some on America with his right hand, while with his left hand he cast some on Europe. Immediately a cloud raised from these countries and joined in mid-ocean. For a while it remained stationary, and then moved slowly westward until it enveloped America in its murky folds. Sharp flashes of lightning gleamed through it at an interval, and I heard the smothered groans and cries of the American people. The second peril, the Civil War. A second time the angel dipped water from the ocean and sprinkled it out as before, the dark cloud then drawing back to the ocean, in whose heavying billows it sank from the view. A third time I heard the mysterious voice say, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." I cast my eyes upon America and beheld the villages and towns and cities springing up one after another until the whole land from the Atlantic to the Pacific was dotted with them. Again I heard the mysterious voice say, "Son of the Republic, the end of the century cometh, look and learn." At this the dark shadowy angel turned his face southward, and from Africa I saw ill-omened specters approaching our land. It flitted slowly over every town and city of the later. The inhabitants presently set themselves in battle array against each other. As I continued to look, I saw a bright angel, on whose brow rested a crown of light, and on which was traced the word Union, bearing the American flag, which he placed between the divided nation, and said, "Remember ye our brethren." Instantly the inhabitants, casting from them their weapons, and became friends once more, and united around the national standard. The third peril, America's judgment. And again I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." At this the dark shadowy angel placed a trumpet to his mouth, and blew 3 distinct blasts, and taking the water from the ocean, he sprinkled it upon Europe and Asia and Africa. Then my eyes beheld a fearful scene. From each of these countries arose thick black clouds that were soon joined into one. Throughout this mass there gleamed a dark red light, by which I saw hordes of armed men, who, moving with the cloud, marched by land and sailed by sea to America. Our country was enveloped in the volume of the cloud, and I saw these vast armies devastating the whole country and burning villages and towns and cities that I beheld springing up. As my ears listened to the thundering of cannons, the clashing of swords, and the shouts and cries of millions in mortal combat, I heard again the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." When the voice had ceased, the dark, shadowy angel placed his trumpet once more upon his lips and blew a long and fearful blast. Instantly a light of 1,000 suns shone down from above me, and pierced and broke into fragments the dark cloud that enveloped America. At that same moment the angel upon whose head still shone the word Union, and who bore our national flag in one hand and a sword in the other, descended from the heavens, attended by a legion of white spirits. These immediately joined the inhabitants of America, who I perceived were well nigh overcome, but who immediately, taking courage again, closed up their broken ranks and renewed the battle. Again, amid the fearful noise of the conflict, I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." As the voice ceased, the shadowy angel for the last time dipped the water into the ocean and sprinkled it upon America. Instantly the dark clouds rolled back, together with the armies it had brought, leaving the inhabitants of the land victorious. Then once more I beheld the villages and towns and cities springing up where I had seen them before, while the bright angel, planting the azure standard he had brought in the midst of them, cried in a loud voice, "While the stars remain and the heavens send down dew upon the earth, so long shall the Union stand." And taking from his brow the crown which blazed the words Union, he placed it upon the standard, while the people kneeling down said Amen. The scene instantly began to fade and dissolve, and I at last saw nothing but the rising, curling vapors I at first beheld. This also disappeared. I found myself once more gazing upon the mysterious visitor, who in the same voice I had heard before, "Son of the Republic, what you have seen is thus interpreted. 3 great perils will come upon the Republic. The most fearful is the third. But in this great conflict, the whole world united shall not prevail against her. Let every child of the Republic learn to live for his God, for his land, and for the Union." With these words, the vision vanished. I started from my chair, and I felt I had seen a vision wherein had been shown to me the birth, progress, and destiny of the United States. This ends General Washington's vision and prophecy for the United States of America, as told in his words. It's a pretty impressive vision, and this has been handed down for quite a while. George Washington's vision I learned when I was in high school. And it's something that I've kept with me for quite some time. That in Washington's third vision, he saw invaders coming from Europe, Asia, and Africa. Europe being Russia, Asia being China and Iran, which is really funny because just 3 days before I recorded this, Iran had made the public threat that they will nuke New York. Pelosi has gone to Taiwan, which has always been recognized as an independent nation, separate from China, more so than the corrupt Ukraine. And of course, Africa, well, with as much control as China has in African nations right now, who knows how China will require these countries to repay their Belt and Road Initiative. But this is also why I've also said in the past, I don't believe this is Revelations. I just believe it's really bad. This vision of Washington also fits in, interestingly, when we find what some of us would call a battle for the soul of this nation. So with the culture war going on, you can see also why I find this particular vision a little spooky. And I've already gone over how I'm sure some will consider me a white Christian nationalist, but whatever. The angel that came to George Washington in his vision called him a son of the Republic. We are not a democracy. We are not a democratic republic, but we were initially meant to be a republic. As you can see, Washington and several other of our founding fathers didn't necessarily consider America to be a democracy. This is why I suppose when I heard Buttigieg's husband having a bunch of classroom children say a pledge of allegiance to the gay pride flag, I kind of flipped my lid. At a time when our politicians seems to have forgotten what civics is, and I don't even think it's really taught in schools like it used to be when I was growing up. Plain and simple. I used to say it in school. I used to say it in the Boy Scouts. I wonder if the Boy Scouts still even say it. So it was actually a pleasure to be able to share it. So with that, I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedules to join me. And it seems at times even the church has forgotten some of those words. It was just last month that the Pope announced we are in World War III. So I want to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy schedules to join me today. I hope that there was something in here that was a benefit to you or to somebody that you know. Please feel free to leave a comment down below. United we stand, divided we fall. God bless you, and God bless America.